One thing that I'd love for everybody getting into botany and home farming to know right away is that just because a plant is edible does not make it food, and certainly doesn't make it worth cultivating. I know to some of you this may sound semantic and random, but let me tell you a story to explain what exactly I'm talking about and why I think it matters. Recently, I was working on the property of a family who at some point had hired an organic produce specialist to set up edible gardens for them. But aside from the fact that he didn't explain to them what the plants that he planted were, when I looked at what was planted in these gardens, there were some great choices like peach and mango trees and pineapple, but there were also hibiscus bushes and lobster flowers and things like that. There are parts of all of these plants that are edible, but they're not really what I would call food. Harvesting these things is not an alternative for going to the grocery store and buying food, like, for example, a tomato or a carrot. While parts of plants like hibiscus are edible, they're not particularly nutritious, especially with the amount of yield that you get for the space of such a large plant. They're great decoratively, and they're good for making aromatic extracts or teas, but they're not really food. Lobster flower is even less food. The flowers are edible, but again, not nutritious. You can eat them, but there's really no reason unless you're foraging in a survival scenario. But the leaves here are literally toxic. They contain an essential oil that can induce vomiting and diarrhea in adults. If you want to grow your own food, you need crops that are more than just edible. Elmer's glue is edible. If you want to learn survival and foraging, edible is great, but cultivate crops that are nutritious and tasty. And subscribe for more great home farming tips.